Before I start, a warning. I'm about to talk yet again about me and the cult horror movie Carrie. If you're sick of hearing me talk about the movie, then feel free to just check your email for the next 5 minutes. Okay, so a few years ago, out of the blue, I get a text from a guy named Calvin asking if I would be interested in joining 5 other Carrie cast members signing autographs at the Hollywood Autograph Show at the Burbank Marriott. They billed it as a Carrie cast reunion, even though it didn't include Sissy Spacek or John Travolta. I don't know if you've ever been to one of these autograph shows, but they're filled with actors who appeared in movies and TV shows that you loved as a kid. They sit at tables with stacks of photos from their glory days and sign autographs and take selfies for a fee. I was flattered that Calvin thought anyone might want my autograph. I mean, I had a couple of nice scenes in the movie, but I was definitely a minor character. Still, I thought it might be fun to see some of the Carrie kids again. And maybe I'll make a little money. Sure, I told him. I showed up at the Burbank Marriott 2.5 months later, wearing a tuxedo t-shirt, just like the one I wore in the movie. I went into the convention center, and there, setting up in a prime spot right in front, were Jerry Mathers and Tony Dow. Wally and the Beaver from Leave It to Beaver, a show I loved as a kid. Wow. Talk about meeting your childhood heroes. I made my way through the tables of the minor celebrities who were putting up posters and banners and stacks of pictures. In addition to Wally and the Beav, there was Tommy from Lassie, Eddie Munster, Pugsley from the Addams Family, the still living cast of Good Times, and dozens of others from classic shows and movies. The big stars were Stephanie Powers, who, by the way, still looks great, Delta Burke, and Gerald McRaney. They were in a special area just for them. Toward the back of the room were the tables with where the Carrie kids were. Calvin, the guy who had contacted me 2.5 months ago, was setting up my table. He gave me a plastic pouch to keep my money, Sharpies for signing, a pack of gum, and a bottle of hand sanitizer. On the table, he laid out a pile of 8x10s of me, screen grabs from the movie, and a sign that said, Doug Cox, Carrie, autographs, $30. Autograph and selfie, $50. Yeah, I know. If you told me that someday people would gladly pay $30 for my signature, I would have said you were crazy. Soon the other Carrie kids arrived. For the most part, we'd held up pretty well. The only exception was one woman who, sadly, was showing signs of dementia. Her boyfriend kept a close eye on her, though, handling her money and making it sure that all she had to do was just sit there and sign her name. Next to me was a Carrie actress who told me that she no longer acts, but teaching ballroom dancing and Scientology keep her pretty busy these days. At the table next to ours were 4 guys from The Sopranos, all of them dressed in black. And at the booth across from us was Tammy Locke, a child actor on The Monroes, a TV Western that ran for 1 season in 1966. Tammy has also been a roller derby queen and a cowboy singer. She was an autograph show veteran, going from one show to another. Her booth had an eye-catching banner, a wide variety of pictures, and a large bowl of hard candy. Soon the early birds, who had paid $35 to get in the door an hour before the rest, started filing in. I had no idea what to do. I just stood there smiling uncomfortably as people passed my table. Tammy motioned me over to their booth. You gotta establish eye contact, she said. Ask him, are you a Carrie fan? Tell him what it was like shooting the movie. Get him talking. and smile like you mean it. I went back to my table. A young couple with lots of horror movie tattoos passed by. I smiled, this time confidently. Did Carrie scare you? I asked. You know, shooting the prom scene took 3 weeks. This is the actual hat I wore in the movie. It still has fake blood on it. It worked. They asked me to sign their poster. Sure, I said, and signed with a signature that would make John Hancock jealous. Then I kind of choked and said, that'll be $30. They didn't blink an eye. Another guy who sold movie memorabilia online had 4 posters from a different movie I was barely in at all, and asked me to sign them. That'll be $120. Fine, he said, and forked over the cash. The show had a Carrie cast reunion special. For only $150, you could get your picture taken by a professional photographer with all 6 of the Carrie cast members. Then, you could have the 6 of us sign the photo for another $30 each. Several fans got their picture taken with us. One guy went for the full package. That's $330. That's insane. I wanted to tell him, use that money to fix your car, feed your kids, see a dentist. Instead, I signed the picture and told him, that'll be $30. I felt so guilty, I gave him a free autographed picture. He was thrilled. You can tell most of the people who come to these shows are not wealthy. Yet some of them came from long distances. Phoenix, New York, Australia, for God's sakes. To meet and get an autograph of their favorite actors who, let's be honest, probably haven't worked a whole hell of a lot since that one claim to fame years ago. I gotta admit, I felt a little conflicted about the whole thing. Am I a celebrity, albeit a very minor one? Or am I just a monkey in a cage desperately begging for attention? At one point, the Carrie actress with dementia looked around with a dazed look on her face and said, I don't know what I'm doing here. I felt the same way. Thank you.